Hello, and welcome to Lesson 1 of our BigQuery module, Use Cases for Using BigQuery. Now, before we get into too much detail about BigQuery, and even what it is, let's talk about the true business value of BigQuery and how your organization will benefit from such a seemingly complicated addition to your tech stack. Okay, so first and foremost, by following a fairly easy step-by-step process, you can now easily import, in real time even, Google Analytics 4 data into BigQuery to be stored forevermore. While you may be used to seeing your data from about 2010 within Google Analytics or Google Universal, that won't be possible anymore. If you want to look at granular year-over-year data past 14 months, you'll now need to do so outside the interface. We will discuss how you will do that later, but know that the first step will be exporting it to Google BigQuery. Well, I hate to look into the past. Okay, as an analyst, I'm used to it. This is important. As you're all well aware, Google Analytics Universal has gone away. While you can see your data up until about July of 2023, and then access it until 2024, you can kiss that data goodbye after July of 2024. Unless you extract your Google Analytics Universal data into BigQuery to be stored, again, forevermore. While this process certainly is not as cut and dry as it is within Google Analytics 4, it is possible. Reach out and nudge us to release the process for you. Now note, depending upon how your historical Google Analytics Universal instance was set up, the value of performing this task may have varied value. If you had a deep event structure before, you can join this historical data fairly well. If you depend on only goals and page views, your value may be limited. One thing we have noticed while utilizing Google Analytics 4 is the fairly slow processing time it takes for a Google Data Studio dashboard to connect and process a Google Analytics 4 dataset. Now, while before Google placed pretty tight reins on the API calls you can make, they quickly let off on that leash. Instead, it seems they greatly increased the latency it takes to pull data from GA4. Now, humans have a 6-second attention span. Yep, that's proof. Beyond that, our attention goes awry. If it's taking longer than that to process your dashboards, well, that's not very dashing, is it? Querying data from BigQuery will not only allow you to get faster access to this data, it will also allow you to run more customized queries, i.e. questions of your data. The downfall, however, is that you will have to have some knowledge of SQL to do so. That said, there are plenty of examples online from DataBlue, MashMetrics, and a little company called MashMetrics, and many more. Now, we get into more detail about this later, but one of the biggest advantages of getting your data out of the interface and into a database is to allow you to start to join the data with your own data. We certainly hope by now, in this course, you have found the importance of moving from collecting page view data to interaction data on your website. We also hope you've learned to also collect user data as well. Most likely, you have your own internal database of customer data, whether it be within Salesforce, Shopify, or another system. Without a lot of development resources, you can now connect your website performance, marketing performance, and more with this very data. This is the essence of modern-day data analytics, to not analyze in a silo, but a 360-degree view of your customers. Last, but certainly not least, once your organization starts to store your web and or app performance data into BigQuery, it's a short leap to start to collect other information within your forevermore database. Imagine having all of your organic search data from Search Console stored in the same place as your Google Ads data and maybe even Facebook data. One of the main advantages of storing your data in a database is having it all accessible in one place and not needing to go into multiple systems. This is not the future, but the present of marketing analytics.